cast your mind back. It's the beginning of summer 2019. And here's me, itching to play an RPG. I don't have any way to play them, except via an emulator. Because the cost is... how much? Yes! Persona 3 says. This game took me like 3 whole months to beat. Ups and downs, cries and rages, and a little bit of save scanning, but you know, emulator. But then, after I beat P3, I only had one thing left to say.
Persona Games. Persona Games.
Good?
Persona Games.
Fucking good! Give me 2 more! Give me 2 more! They're good!
I mean, yeah, I already knew that these 2 games existed, but I wanted to play them really badly. So, since I was all out of options, I had to play 4 via the same emulator. Can't play 5 yet, I don't have a PS4. But then, while I was playing through 4, and midway through 3, something occurred to me. Because of a certain event, why aren't these games already on Switch? And so that's what I'm here to talk about. I have a list of a couple of things about why Persona 3, 4, mainly 3 and 4, will be coming to Switch in its lifespan. Yeah, the first reason is pretty easy, pretty simple, pretty boring, honestly. It's just, it would fit. I mean, we have Final Fantasy. We have a bunch of other RPGs. And hey, Hero got Dragon Quest on the Switch. Pretty much. Yeah, since Hero was in Smash, they just said, oh yeah, let's give you Dragon Quest. Lots and lots and lots of Dragon Quest. All of Dragon Quest. I think we recently got Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 as well, so there's that. Okay, well that's really all I can think of. My second reason is, honestly, pretty much, they've worked with them in the past. Alice and Nintendo have worked in the past. On some lesser known games, they've done like Shin Megami Tensei and all that. But I'm more talking about Persona, and for Persona, they've done Q and Q2 on the 3DS. Which are really... I've never played them, but from what I've heard, they're pretty good. But they're on 3DS. And the soundtracks to this game are absolutely mint. They are so good. At least the opening themes for both, like Maze of Life and Roads Less Taken. Love them. Love them so much. But please, please, bring them on to something else. Like, at least something else. I don't mind what, but, you know, I don't mind if P, Q, and Q2 are just 3DS exclusives at this point. I don't mind, but it'd be cool if they came to the Switch as well. Now, this is more of a developing point, like, but it's more to do with the time the game's released. And this is why I'm saying a port and not a remake. I'm not saying a remake because that would take us till 2025. I'm going to say a port simply because it'd be a lot more easier to do since they're PS2 games. Persona 3 and 4 are both PS2 games. It wouldn't be that hard to port over. At least the PS2 versions of P3 and 4. The Vita version of 4 might be a bit tricky, but I think the second PS2 version of 3 is easily doable. And then we have Persona 5 Hyrule Warriors Edition, which is a very interesting case, because it's coming to PS4 and Switch, and it's technically a mainline game. Technically. I mean, we don't know much about it. We know it exists, and that's about it. It exists. It's Hyrule Warriors, and it's coming to the Switch next. I think it's next year. I think it might be early next year. So yeah, it's a mainline game on Switch, and it's not called something dumb like Persona Q. It's called Persona 5. So I don't know, maybe it could happen. And now, the real reason why I think this is probably going to happen, and why I think maybe 5 will come too, eventually, but I think they'll do 3, 4, then 5. Joker, as we all know, is in Smash. And he sold really, really, really well in Smash. If we remember, he crashed the service for about 3 hours. And yeah, while he is mainly repping 5, 3 and 4 are still there. I mean, you got the costumes for the main characters, who I'm not even gonna try and pronounce. We got Morgana, we got Teddy, we got music from P4 and 3, which made me happy, especially hearing Mass Destruction again. And I mean, he sold really, really well. Like I said, well enough to crash the servers. But at the same time, Snake doesn't have a game on Switch yet, so who knows? Maybe I'm just crazy. Now, this isn't really a reason. This is more of re-releases, because Persona 3 and 4 have had re-releases. There's normal Persona 3, there's normal Persona 4, and then there's Fez and Golden for, well, 3 Fez and 4 Golden for PS. I think Fez is for PS2 as well as both versions of the PS2, and Golden is for the Vita. I mean, P3 did have a PSP port, which I heard was pretty good. I couldn't say, but I heard it was pretty good. But even just normal P3 and 4 are fine. But if they really wanted to be extra spicy, Persona 3 and 4 Definitive Edition. Release it on PS4, don't label it as a remake, label it as a port, because just port it over, and give us all the content from Golden, all the content from Fez, and just re-release it, and maybe even some of the content from the Vita, from the PSP game, like a female main character or something like that. I mean, hey, I'm gonna buy it anyway. I mean, P3 is probably now one of my favorite RPGs ever made, so well, to be fair, it only doesn't really have that much to compete with in comparison to other Persona games. I'm like 10 hours into 4, so anywho, those are my reasons. I mean, what do you think? Do you think it should come to the Switch? I mean, I think it should obviously come to the Switch. I think it's the match made in heaven, but I want you to tell me what you think. Just give me your thoughts, and I'll respond to as many as I can. See you later. Bye.